The effects of the De Valera telegram reverberated through the negotiations of Friday, October 21st. Lloyd George announced that the telegram was unacceptable, and that IRA attempts to smuggle arms into Ireland and cache arms in Britain were equally unacceptable. The British would not waste any more time in a conference that was simply being used to rearm the IRA. They needed to know whether or not the Irish would accept allegiance to the King as part of a solution. Were they willing to give the British what was necessary for their security? He proposed adjourning the conference until the Irish could advance assurances on these essential items. For his part, Griffith defended De Valera's telegraph as providing clarity on the nature of the trouble between Ireland and Britain, and not in Britain itself. He then undertook to introduce a written response to Lloyd George's other questions for discussion at Monday's conference. Collins returned to Ireland that weekend, where he made time to see Kiernan in Dublin. The couple's correspondence was certainly going through a rocky patch. On the same day that Collins was penning his rather stern letter of October 20th, Kiernan was dispatching her own correspondence from Granard. In it, she told Collins of the fun she had had at a dance. She informed him that she had danced all night without stopping. At one point, she had even danced with an old RIC inspector who had once been a suitor of her mother's. She also gave him a rather provocative description of what she wore: my old black evening dress, held up on shoulders by two little black strings and willpower. No sleeves, long draped skirt with a small slit in front. I felt I never looked so well and was wishing that you were here to tell me if you liked me. The letter once again returned to Kiernan's interest in Collins's roving eye.
I wish that I had never worried you, because it probably had a bad effect on you, made you think unkind things of me, and I suppose you had to get some ladies over there, secretaries for instance, to amuse you, to provide little diversion from all the work. That's why I'm not sorry that I gave you the opportunity by my behaviour. I only say I suppose. Forgive my supposing. Perhaps you didn't bother. I hope not.
It seems a remarkable statement by any person to the person they intended marrying. Kiernan was merely hoping that Collins would not engage in amorous activity with other women. She was not forbidding him from doing such a thing. She was not even implying that such activity would have consequences for his relationship with her. She is even going as far as implying that vexatious behaviour on her part may make improper behaviour on his part forgivable, or at least understandable. All of these questions seem to have been overcome when the couple met in person again on the weekend of October 22nd and 23rd. The couple enjoyed their brief reunion, and each of them wrote fondly of it. On his return to London, on October 24th, Collins wrote 2 letters to Kiernan. The second of his communiques voiced his concerns regarding her health, and also provided enclosed details of wired arrangements for her coming to London.
Kit, dearest, I'm absolutely crazy, you'll say, to sit down to write you twice in one day. Perhaps I am. There is a reason, though. I've received your letter written on Thursday. You must have been stunning looking in that outfit right enough. Sounded somewhat on the naked side in reality, but I can scarcely think it was so. It wasn't a letter anyway, as you very properly say. Did you explain that you got that letter of mine? Have you been too busy today to write one? Did you go home by the early morning train, or did you go home at all? I hope you'll go to Dr. F, or if you don't like going to him, what about Dr. Hayden, Dr. O'Brien or Dr. John Ryan? Also about your sight, would it not be well to go to Dr. Cummins? You see, I've begun taking real care of you, and you must take real care of yourself. I'm thinking of those grey hairs today. Glad there is something I can reproach you about. I'm greatly afraid that you have me completely in this way. Would you look at the enclosed? It needs no restraint on my part, whoever she is. Lit a candle for you. Slán Lat. All right. I'll wire tomorrow about coming over. M.
Back in Granard, Kiernan wrote to inform Collins that she had returned safe and sound from Dublin. It was a hopeful letter, which yearned for a happy future together. Yet she couldn't help returning to her doubts about Collins's commitment, and once again seemed to offer him the chance to call off their relationship.
My very dear Michael, I hope you had a very nice journey and arrived quite safely. You seemed in great form going off, and I was delighted to see you looking so well. Hope you slept and everything. I was very lonely, of course, and would have liked to have gone with you, but I knew it couldn't be did, and so I was quite sensible about it. Hope you're not feeling too tired, and that you will have good rest and sleep plenty. Are you lonely after me? I think you are. Needn't tell you I felt very posh when you whispered that you had really come to see me. I feel very happy about you, but was very lonely when I think, if only we're just together. I'm anxious for the time to come, but as I explained Saturday night, I'll try and be sensible about that too, and just be patient, but I do want to be with you so very much. How do you feel now? Don't be vexed with me if I say even now that you are still free to think it over, and think differently if you wish. Don't be vexed, sweetheart, if I feel all right, if you'd love me. I will surely love you. So we won't talk any more about it. Only pray that very soon things will be all right and we'll be together for good. We got back to Gresham all right. Pat didn't try to kill us any more and the man's nose was all right. And Tom tried to look after me in great style, a nice boy. Went to bed at 9:30. G came back late. I didn't see him. I came off this morning at 9 o'clock, very cold. Mops didn't expect me, no car at the station, so I had to come in the countryman's donkey and trap. Very funny, really, only for the cold. When I sat down last night, I saw people looking down at my legs. As I thought, and I didn't look then, and saw my stocking torn and a mark. Glass had cut me and I never felt it. Can't be very delicate after all. But really it was nothing, only a scratch and no pain. So I bathed it before going to bed. So it's gone today, no mark even. Beauty not spoilt. Market day here, so excuse the disconnected letter, but I know you will. I'm very lonely for a letter from you, so write soon, very soon. I'll hear tomorrow, I hope. When will we meet? It's ages even now. Do you feel that way, or has your anxiety to see me dwindle down? Tell me honestly, I'll not be vexed. I loved Greystones, I mean the breezy part in your compliments. Very early to be paying me those. But you don't mean it, do you? I wish you didn't have to go back tonight. The whole time seemed like 1 hour. Goodbye, my own dearest, fondest love, from Kit.
Within 2 days, Kiernan would cross to London just as negotiations started to move towards their critical juncture.